Keyboards are a big topic in PC gaming. Maybe you want a 60% keyboard, but you don't know which one to get. Well, hopefully today I give you some recommendations and help you out with your choosing. Now, before we get into this, I just want to point out that I'll be focusing on 3 main keyboards that I always see in the market. And yes, there are many more 60% keyboards actually out there, just these 3 main ones I'm going over are the ones that I see most people looking at. So, starting this off, let's talk about the Polka Keyboard. So, there's several of these keyboards that you get, and they're all basically the same. Either they don't have RGB or they have different keycaps, and this keyboard was a serious competitor when I was making my choice of which new keyboard to get. And if you don't know what happened with the past keyboard, you can watch my review on it in the top right hand corner of your screen now, but we'll get into that keyboard later. But the Polka Keyboard has several things that made me not want to get it. First thing that caught my eye was the quality. The quality of this keyboard looks like cheap plastic from what I could see. Now obviously I don't want a cheap quality keyboard, but while I get past the cheap quality, the thing about it is that it was $139, so I was expecting something that looks a little more high quality for that kind of money. But just getting out of the way, the thing that automatically made this keyboard just out of my options was the connector it uses. This keyboard still runs on mini USB, and if you don't know what mini USB is, I'll throw a picture of it on the screen because you probably haven't seen them forever. I mean, for example, my old BlackBerry from like 2006 runs on mini USB. So yeah, mini USB, while fine, it's super outdated, and it should be at least a micro USB, especially for 2020. But, you know, they just didn't do that. So overall, this keyboard fundamentally is a fine keyboard that probably works really well, but for the price and the quality, it's not worth it though. You're paying $140 for plastic and an outdated connection. So if they made this keyboard maybe like $60 to $80, maybe it would be a better option to consider, but for the price and the quality, there are much better products out there, and I don't know why anyone would get this keyboard. So this is some things I keep in mind when getting keyboards is the connector you use this because you want to future-proof it, and the quality and the price. So that's just 3 point of views that I would keep in your head when deciding. But yeah, other from that, let's get into the next keyboard. So next up, we have the M Pro 2. Now, this keyboard was something for me. So to sum up the videos I made on this, basically, I got the keyboard and it was fine, but it busted on me before even a year of having it, and my insurance on it ran out, so I was kind of screwed. So this keyboard is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not great by any means. This keyboard is made out of plastic, but it does use a USB-C cable, which is nice for future proofing because I feel like USB-C is like the standard for 2020. But yeah, now also with this, there is a sketchy software that comes with it that barely works, and it barely even works with the keyboard itself, so kind of just ignoring that. The keyboard overall has a nice structure to it and feels really nice to type on, and it has a pretty good price too. So you're paying $95 for a plastic keyboard that doesn't have much give on the plastic part, and by give I mean like if you push it in and like try and make the plastic break, it doesn't work too well. So if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But it also has a USB-C cable, which is nice, and RGB, which is always nice because who doesn't want RGB? But the problem here is the keyboard itself. Now, I read up on my problem, and my problem was that the keyboard would randomly cut out and not work despite it being completely fine and the function keys even working. But solutions I saw to this was that the factory cable it comes with was awful, causing that problem. And of course, you know, I did replace the cable, but I still had the same problem. But yeah, this keyboard, while good for the price, it does have many known issues of busting early in its life cycle, so I would definitely be very cautious when considering this keyboard. But talking about the last keyboard, let's actually talk about the Ducky Mecha Mini. So yes, the Mecha Mini is different from the 1-2 Mini, but the reason I didn't go for the 1-2 Mini is because for the price, you'd be paying $100 just to get what looked like to be a keyboard in plastic, which I was very skeptical about because I couldn't tell if it was plastic or not, so that's why I didn't go with it. But when going on this site, mechanicalkeyboards.com, I was being advertised the Mecha Mini, and this keyboard caught my eye immediately, and this was the one I knew I was going to get. So the main thing about this is for $20 more than the 1-2 Mini, you got a cast aluminum frame instead of the plastic, and this was the thing that got me, as it's really good quality for the price. Literally some of the best quality I've seen in a keyboard. It's cast aluminum, it's literally like metal, and it's heavy and puts weight to the keyboard, making it feel more quality. But it also has the USB-C, which just made me want to get it even more because, again, USB-C is future-proofing yourself, and it also has RGB on it. I mean, can't go wrong with RGB. And something else is that you don't need a software for this. All the software is on the keyboard, so you can just press the function key and change the lights and all that. So I like that even more. I don't have to download anymore. And even if you want, there's mini games on this keyboard, which is weird because you'll never use them, but there are mini games on the keyboard you can play. But yeah, so for $20 more, you're getting a cast aluminum frame and basically the same thing. So you're basically just paying $20 more for quality, and it was the best $20 more I've spent. Okay, it's really good quality how this is. So yeah, and then again, it was $120 for this keyboard, and that still makes it cheaper than the Poker, which is again plastic, mini USB, and only RGB on like 2 different keyboards itself. So overall, in my personal opinion, the Doki Mecha Mini is the best 60% keyboard to get, as for the price it has the best quality and you're just getting the most out of your money for this. So yeah, now again, this is my personal opinion and you might have different ones. I just hope I gave you some point of reference when deciding on your keyboard. But yeah, if you want to see any of these keyboards, I'll put the link in the description for you, and make sure to follow me on Twitch. But until next time, hope you enjoyed. See ya.